All right, trainers, buckle up. Today, we're diving deep into some leaked Pokemon lore and Gen 10 speculation.
Yeah, we're talking potential game changers here. Stuff that could completely reshape how we look at the Pokemon world.
We're going to be looking at a potential creation myth that rivals ancient legends.
Oh yeah, think primordial gods, familiar Pokemon like Groudon and Kyogre playing huge E roles.
And even hints at a mysterious third power alongside our old pals Dialga and Palkia.
Just to be crystal clear though, this is all unconfirmed stuff, leaks and speculation, folks.
Exactly, so keep that in mind. But hey, it's fun to explore the possibilities, right?
Absolutely. It's like peeking behind the curtain of the Pokemon world.
So let's start with this creation myth. It's pretty wild.
Oh yeah, it throws a major curveball right off the bat. Forget Arceus, we've got a whole new primordial god in town.
This new god's name is Aneris.
And Eris created the universe from chaos.
But hold on, there's more.
Aneris has these two alter egos, Aya and Aya.
Representing light and darkness, classic duality.
It's actually a really common theme in creation myths across various cultures.
Makes sense, right? Like the balance of opposing forces. Yin and yang, good versus evil.
Exactly. Seems like the Pokemon world might be tapping into that same fundamental concept.
And get this, these alter egos, Aya and Aya, actually give birth to other Pokemon gods.
Heavy hitters, too. We're talking Rayquaza, Groudon, Kyogre.
It's like a cosmic family tree or something.
Definitely gives those legendary Pokemon even more gravitas, doesn't it?
Now, here's where it gets even more interesting.
Oh, this is one of my favorite parts.
This creation story dives into the distinction between humans and Pokemon.
It suggests a shared ancestry going all the way back to the beginning of the universe.
And guess what? Abawas is described as this fascinating mix of Pokemon and human.
It's almost like they were the prototype for both, you know?
Yeah. And then Aya, the light alter ego, leans more towards a human form.
While Aya, the darkness alter ego, is more Pokemon-like in appearance.
So according to this lore, humans are believed to be descendants of Aya.
And Pokemon descend from Aya.
It's a completely new way to look at that human-Pokemon connection.
It really makes you wonder, right? Like, maybe there's even more to it than we realize.
Speaking of connections, there's that official artwork showing Dialga and Palkia with a mysterious third entity.
Yeah, it's been sparking a lot of theories.
And this leaker claims that this third entity is actually the Distortion world itself.
Banished by Aias because of its wild, chaotic nature.
Kind of makes sense if you think about it. The Distortion world's this place where reality gets all wonky.
Definitely not the kind of thing you'd want hanging around if you're trying to create a stable universe.
So what's Giratina's role in all of this then? Is it like the Distortion world's babysitter?
That's a good question. There's got to be more to it than that, right?
Definitely a lot to unpack here.
This lore is deep, man.
But hey, it's this kind of stuff that makes the Pokemon world so intriguing.
Absolutely. It's the potential for hidden depths and complexities that keeps us coming back for more.
And who knows, maybe Game Freak will actually incorporate some of these ideas into future games.
Now that would be something, wouldn't it?
All right, so we've explored this wild creation myth, but there's more to uncover.
Oh yeah, we're just getting started. You know, there were those rumors about a scrapped storyline for Legends, Arceus.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing something about that. What happened there?
Well, it seems that the storyline was almost finished.
Whoa! Seriously?
Yeah, even translated into English.
So what was it all about? Any juicy details?
Well, unfortunately, it seems like about half of the side quest content is either missing or still untranslated.
Oh man, that's a bummer. I'd love to know what kind of adventures we could have had in this alternate Legends Arceus storyline.
I know, right? It's like a locked door in your favorite game.
Maybe someday those missing pieces will surface. We can always hope. But hey, aside from that mysterious Legends, Arceus storyline, what other cool stuff did these leaks unearth?
Okay, get this. Remember Blitzel and Zebstrika from Black and White?
Those electric zebra Pokemon.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, guess what? They were initially designed as a single-stage Pokemon.
Whoa, really? No evolution?
Nope. It's crazy to think how different that would have been.
Yeah. Would a solo Blitzel have been a powerhouse to make up for not evolving? Different stats, maybe?
It really makes you think about the impact of design choices, right? Like how even small tweaks can ripple through the whole game world.
Absolutely. So we've got scrap storylines, Pokemon design changes. What else is hidden in these game files?
All right, prepare yourself for this one. They found a beta version of the park ball.
A park ball. What's that all about?
Nobody knows. Its purpose is still a complete mystery. But it does suggest that Game Freak was experimenting with different Pokeball types early on.
Ooh, imagine if it had some special function like catching Pokemon in specific areas or something.
That would be awesome. Maybe it was tied to a scrapped feature, or maybe they just decided to keep things simple.
Makes sense. Okay, so park balls, early Pokemon designs, anything else?
Oh yeah, there's more. They found a super early prototype of the black and white map.
Whoa, seriously, what was it like?
Super basic. Just a few placeholder sprites and some Pokemon centers scattered around.
I can picture it. Like the humble beginnings of Unova before all the details were added.
Exactly. It's like a behind-the-scenes look at the creative process.
It really shows how much work goes into making these games, huh?
Oh, for sure. Every detail, every location is carefully crafted.
And speaking of crafting, get this. They unearthed early Sugimori artwork for Beta Gen 3 Pokemon.
Yeah, Sugimori's art is iconic, right?
Totally. So were the beta designs similar to the final ones?
Some were pretty close, but others were drastically different. There was even a beta Blaziken.
Oh, Blaziken.
Yeah.
What was it like?
It was more like the final design, but amped up. Sharper features, a more dynamic pose.
Sounds awesome.
It just had this raw power that, honestly, the final Blaziken is kind of missing.
Man, that's a bummer they scrapped it. Fans would have gone wild for that.
Right. It's always cool to see those what-if moments in game development, you know?
Totally. Okay, so besides the super cool beta Blaziken, were there any other interesting beta designs?
Well, they found this incredible Pokemon that looked like a Pelican.
Another Pelican. Don't we already have Pelipper?
Exactly. And get this, it got scrapped because they thought it was too much like a Pelican.
Too much like a Pelican. That's crazy.
I know, right? It's one of those head-scratching moments in Pokemon history.
Maybe they just have a thing for pelicans. All right, so a supercharged Blaziken, a two-Pelican-y Pelican. Anything else?
There was also a Pokemon that looked like a Chocobo from Final Fantasy.
Oh no, did Nintendo lawyers shut that down?
Probably a good call, right?
Definitely. Okay, enough about scrapped Pokemon. Were there any other juicy revelations?
Yeah, there were some interesting insights into the anime. Seems like there were some discussions about the direction of Pokemon journeys, especially concerning Ash.
Oh, like what kind of discussion?
Well, there were concerns about synergy between the anime and the upcoming Scarlet and Violet games. Initially, the anime was going to be this island-hopping adventure, like the Alola region.
Interesting.
But they scrapped that idea to avoid any overlap with Gen 9.
Yeah, that makes sense. You don't want the anime and games treading the same ground.
Exactly. And there were discussions about the school setting in the anime, too, which was inspired by the Naranja Academy in Scarlet and Violet. Some people felt it was a missed opportunity to introduce a school setting only to abandon it so quickly.
Yeah, I could see that. It might have felt a little jarring for viewers.
They also felt like there was a lack of synergy with the Titan Pokemon, which are a big deal in Scarlet and Violet. They thought it was strange that the anime would be heading in a, and I quote, Gaia-like direction instead of focusing on elements from the current generation.
Whoa, behind-the-scenes drama. Sounds like they were trying to figure out how to balance the anime story with the games.
Oh, for sure. Especially since all this was happening during the development of Legends, Arceus, and before Scarlet and Violet came out.
Right, they were juggling a lot at the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the game leaks. What about that Gen 10 region, codenamed Gaia?
Ah, yes. Gaia. It was described as an island-based region with two versions.
Ooh, island hopping. Love that. What were the versions called?
Potentially Pokemon K and Pokemon N.
K and N. Wow, that's different.
Right. Single-letter titles would be a pretty big departure from their usual naming conventions.
Totally. So, besides those mysterious titles, what else do we know about this supposed Gen 10 region?
From what I've heard, it's all about exploration. Like, you uncover the region's myths and legends as you travel from island to island.
Ooh, I love that. Sounds like a real adventure. Uncovering secrets and piecing together the region's history.
And get this. The leaker claimed that this Gen 10 region was being developed for both the current Switch and its successor.
Well, hold on. You mean a Pokemon game spanning two consoles?
That's what the leaks suggest. It would be a first for the series.
Imagine starting your Gen 10 adventure on the Switch and then seamlessly transitioning to the next-gen console.
Right. Talk about a game changer.
All right, so much to think about. We've got scrapped storylines, beta designs, potential hints about Gen 10.
It's amazing how much creativity goes into developing these games, isn't it?
Totally. It's like even the scrapped ideas are fascinating.
Exactly. It just shows you the possibilities that Game Freak explores behind the scenes.
It makes you appreciate the final product even more, knowing how much work went into it.
And there's more, folks. Remember all that juicy stuff about Gen 10 leaks? Well, we've got some beta design leaks for X and Y characters, too.
No way. Beta designs. Which characters? Spill the beans.
One of the biggest ones is Skyla, the flying-type gym leader.
Skyla, the one with the awesome plane-themed gym.
That's her. But in her beta design, she had a way more vibrant look, let's say. Arguably a more accurate representation, too.
Really? How so?
Well, she had a more distinctly Latina appearance.
Oh, well.
Kind of shame they toned it down for the final version.
Yeah, I agree. More representation is always a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Makes the Pokemon world feel even more diverse and relatable.
Exactly. So yeah, more vibrant Skyla in the beta.
Anyone else get a makeover?
They also found a beta design for Chiren, the Steel-type Elite Four member.
Chiren. Okay, what did they change?
He actually looked pretty similar to his final design, but there's one key difference. He was missing his ahooge.
Wait, seriously? The little tuft of hair?
Yep. Gone. It's amazing how much that one detail changes his whole vibe.
Right. The ahooge gives him that quirky, mischievous personality.
Exactly. Without it, he looks way more serious, like a completely different character.
Crazy how important those little details can be.
Speaking of things that got scrapped, remember that hermit crab Pokemon line we talked about?
Oh yeah, that was a cool concept. Why'd they ditch it?
No clue. Still a mystery. But man, it would have been awesome.
Maybe someday they'll revisit the idea, right?
Fingers crossed. Oh, and speaking of early development stuff, get this. They found footage from a really early build of Black and White.
Whoa, what was it like?
Super rough. Basic graphics, barely any fleshed out environments.
Sounds like a time capsule. Like the very first steps in creating Unova.
Pretty much. It's cool to see how these games evolve, you know? From those early stages to the final product.
Okay, you mentioned there was one last leak you wanted to talk about before we wrap things up. You said it was a big one, so I'm all ears.
All right, get ready for this. They found an early 3D model of Hilda in the X and Y files.
Wait, Hilda? As in the female protagonist from Black and White.
Well, one and only.
What was she doing in the X and Y files?
That's the million-dollar question. It's impossible to know for sure, but it seems like she was planned to appear in the game in some capacity.
Whoa, no way. Do you think she was going to be a main character?
We can only speculate. Maybe a rival, a mentor, or even a secret boss battle.
Oh, that would have been amazing. Imagine running into Hilda in Kalos.
It's a shame they scrapped whatever they had planned.
Well, it's fun to imagine the possibilities. Maybe they're saving her for a future game. Who knows?
Right. There are always surprises in the Pokemon world.
Well, trainers, that's a wrap for today's deep dive into Pokemon leaks. We've explored lost storylines, scrapped designs, and got some potential glimpses into the future of the Pokemon world.
It's amazing to see all the creativity that goes into creating these games, even the stuff that doesn't make it into the final product.
It makes you appreciate the amount of work and dedication that goes into crafting each region, each Pokemon, each story. So until next time, keep those Pokeballs ready, your imagination's running wild, and stay tuned for more exciting Pokemon deep dives.